Bombos. I'm back for another video, and today we're going to be learning the fundamentals of the Ollie. The Ollie is basically a jump on the skateboard. It's that first trick you need to get into your system and your giant sketchbook of tricks in order to be able to execute way more complicated tricks such as 180s or pop shove-its or even tray flips, kick flips. The Ollie, when people think of the Ollie, they're like, it's cool and all. It looks easy, so I might as well just skip over it, just head to a kick flip. Not gonna work. An Ollie is the base trick. It's the first one for a reason, because after you're accustomed to riding your board, you are still not accustomed to the fact that when you're riding, you need to pop. That pop is like adding in like a little half manual and then completely altering your balance in midair. It's not something you're just gonna have all of a sudden. The riding and getting comfortable definitely helps though, because it allows you to actually get up to be able to prep for the trick. But an Ollie is not easy. It's easy in the sense of technical abilities, because all you really are doing is popping the board and sliding up. It's a really simple movement. Other tricks are way more complicated in that you'll be doing like a scoop on this end and you'll be doing a kick flip on this end. So it doesn't combine any tricks. But it's hard in the sense that every skater usually takes up about three to 6 months just to learn like a stationary Ollie. And I know some people who even took them like a year and a half to learn the Ollie. And even for me to this day, I've gotten so used to, it took me, when I first started, it took me about, I'd say about half a year to get an Ollie down. But that being said, a stationary Ollie is so much more different than a moving Ollie. A moving Ollie took me about a year. And now all I can do is moving Ollies, and stationary Ollies are really hard for me but the first thing you want to do is do a stationary Ollie. Moving while skating and doing the tricks while moving is a whole new different level of timing, but it's good to get down what that trick basically is. So for an Ollie, essentially what you're doing is that goofy or regular, in this case I'm goofy, so I'm going to pretend like this is my left foot, this is my right foot. What you're going to want to do is you're going to get in your ready position as you're riding, so you're going like this, and the whole base like pattern of your foot is just going to be, you're going to pop down and slide up. The pop will get that board like that. Like if you just popped, it'll just it's going to get that board prepped to go into the air. That slide, as it's using this downward momentum, sort of levels that board out as it's still going up. So you're gonna have this, and then you're gonna level it out as you're sliding, and your board's gonna kind of go like, that's how you jump. What a lot of people do is that when they first start, they'll be in grass. I recommend you try it in grass. I'm on concrete right now because they don't have grass next to me. But a lot of people will get on, and they're not comfortable with that whole like timing and the movement, and they'll be like, okay, so you pop and then slide, so I'm gonna try it. That's not an Ollie. That's not gonna do you much except for helping you like drop off a curve if you're being lazy. The reason why this is so common is because of the timing. So a lot of times what I did is that it's a very well-known method. You just have to really ingrain like muscle memory how to pop first. The pop is like I'll just do this over and over again. You go like, no slide, just a pop. That'll really get your muscle memory in sync with your left leg or right leg, depending on if you're goofy or regular. And the pop's gonna look a lot like you're pressing down as hard as you can. The harder the pop, typically the higher the board goes when you Ollie. But the pop, all it is just using your ankle and sort of going like this. not a full-on using your whole leg. So when you're like going to ollie, you're not going like, it's not gonna work. Odds are you'll end up like doing a pop shove it or something, which you don't want to do when you're trying to do an ollie. And that slide motion, let's say since you have that pop down, you just go like pop and then practice wherever your foot position is. It doesn't really matter for an ollie. It could be down here or even up here. Down here you're gonna get a higher ollie for more experienced people. Up here is where it's like a good beginner level. It'll get off the air. You just wanna slide, 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 slide. And so you use, if you want to look at it closely, you can tell on my shoe, there's holes everywhere. That's part of skating. But it lets you know that like in this area, if you're starting to get holes, you're doing it right. You're supposed to slide up your board with this outside of your pinky toe. It is the most surface area. It's how you do it. You're not going to be, you need the slide. You're not going to be just going around with a pop. But that being said, for the slide, it's not as important as the pop. You can still manage to do like a sort of halfway ollie, and it'll still get off the ground, not much, but it'll get off the ground, and it'll look, I mean, it works as an ollie, right? If you're playing a game of skate, that works. But the slide is important for height as well. Not as important, but it's important to level out the board. So a lot of times what I mean by a half ollie is just like that. It got off the ground a little bit. It wasn't this, because I slid. It was like this. That works. And that's what a lot of people end up doing their first time. But in order to fix that, this is the best first step that you can have. After the repetition of the slide pop, just literally doing this boring stuff over and over again, your body will start to recognize that, okay, as soon as I'm popping the board, my foot's already prepped and sliding. So that the board will end up going like that, and it looks really cool. Okay, so when it comes down to actually getting your ollies higher, so it looks like a normal ollie, it's all about your back foot. You have your slide's gonna pretty much come to you after you've sort of ingrained it in your mind what it is, but the slide doesn't help for height. The slide pushes, or doesn't help for height when you want to get it higher. The slide pushes the board forward on those. So you have to really balance it. Most of the height's gonna come, like I said, from the back foot, and the whole premise of getting an ollie high is that after you pop your back foot, you lift both of your legs up, almost like you're squatting in the air. So like that. Just tuck them into your chest as high as they can. For beginners, high as you can might be a little hard. Your board's probably gonna fly away from you because you haven't like built the necessary skills to keep the board under you. But all you really want to focus on is that as soon as you pop, this foot comes up. As you slide, naturally this leg's gonna come up. So as you do it, it's gonna look like a really nice motion of a squat. Like here, I can do a ollie for you right now. Like that. And if you want to get it higher, that. So, in general, it's all about timing, pressure, and maintaining balance. The slide, remember, just to stabilize, it will get the board high to a certain point. Once it's past that certain point, it can't get the board any higher. It's all up to your pop and how fast you tuck in your legs afterwards. And of course, as you get more comfortable, it's going to get higher. Your ollies are just naturally going to get higher. That's what happened to me. I was like, oh, I can't get my ollies past this height. How am I going to ollie up like a two-stair or whatever? Just keep practicing normal ollies. You'll end up learning that like as I'm moving, I'm going to get these really nice, I could be using the same amount of force as my low ollies while stationary, but when I'm moving, if I use that same amount of force, I'll end up doing an ollie like this high. I think my record is like a 3-foot ollie, something like that. And all it took is just going moderately fast and maintaining the same timing and pressure as I normally do. While moving, that's something you have to start to pressure yourself to do. It's more of a your brain naturally doesn't want to ollie while moving. It gets scared. It's just instinctual, being nervous that you're gonna fall, whatever. If you shut that out of your brain, and if you get these ollies stationary, just take it just like you took pushing the board. Go at a slow speed and just go like, that works, even if it's not the highest ollie. I usually take my ollies. It's harder for me to do it stationary now, and it'll probably, once you get good at ollies, be the same thing for you, is that we're way better at ollieing while moving. That's because we've got a whole new timing set in our mind. And at the same time, it's way more fun to ollie while moving. I can just choose an obstacle in the street and like jump over it. So yeah, keep that in mind. Basic ollie, just pop, slide, tuck in. You'll start to get a hang of like when you should be doing what. So as soon as you pop the board, typically you should be, as soon as that tail hits the ground, your foot should be already on its way to sliding up the board. And when your foot's sliding up the board, and as soon as your tail hits the ground, so right as you're sliding up, this back foot should be coming up all the way to here. I'll show you a separate clip of a slow-mo, me doing a slow-mo ollie, so you can kind of see the process by which I pop, slide my foot up, tuck in, and land. Landing will come easy. It's not like you have to catch the board. Your foot's on the board at all times. At least one foot is. And so you can end up hitting some nice ollies.